Hey there, this is Dr. Pam Perry, and we are here with another Get Out There, Get Known, talking about media. That is what we're talking about. And today we're talking about a new magazine, Black Entrepreneur Magazine. And we have the publisher with us today that will kind of talk about like there's so many people that are launching magazines. I was just on a webinar last night of a young lady that was producing and launching her magazine and she was really sharing the vision about that. And then there's so many other people that just say, hey, I'm gonna get in the magazine business. But the person that we have today has actually been in the advertising media space for a long time. So it's not as easy as you think, especially now in the age of the digital world. So Lindsay, myself, will kind of have Gary Gunter on the hot seat to really hear his vision of where he wants to go. And then we'll just talk about uh, this is really the main thing. Speaking does make sure that you sell more products. So, ready, set, go, speak. We'll talk a little bit of how you can be involved in that opportunity as well. So, we'll bring in Gary and Lindsay right after this, and we'll talk about how do you get in Black Entrepreneur Magazine? What is it about? Where did it come from? And where is it going?
Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey there, as promised, we've got our guests lined up here today. So we have got Gary and we've got Lindsay. So I'm going to start out. Gary, give us a little bit of background. He's hailing from Chicago right now, but I found out the other day that he was actually in Detroit. So we're live right now. So tell us a little bit about your background and where you started and how you ended up about a few days, about a week ago, with Black Entrepreneur Magazine.
Sure, Pam, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I am, like you said, originally from Chicago, born and raised, but over the last, I would say, about 30, 32 years, I've been moving around the U.S. and, really the country, including Canada, moving around in the radio and media, or what we call now the audio space. So I actually started here locally at the number one station in Chicago as an intern way back when. And that was WBMX radio for those of you who may go way back with Chicago radio. And then moved on into the sales space. Back then, I was basically started as the receptionist because after my internship, the general manager, Kearney Anderson, took a liking to me, but it was such a popular station, they didn't really have any full time roles or full-time positions available to continue on. So after my 3 months of interning, he said, "Hey, if you want to hang around, you want to stay, you can be part-time receptionist." So I took that position just to be around the station and to be around people in the industry at a high level to be able to, talk with them, to be around, professionals in the business and to hopefully catch on and better my career from all the things I learned at the reception desk. And it really turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me because I was taking calls from Clive Davis. I was taking calls from all of the bigwigs now who are in the music industry because back then artists, recording artists, musicians, they were actually coming to the radio stations to do interviews. So, I mean, they would come through me, the reception. So, I met Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson, Prince, all of those big names that were actually coming through the radio station and their representatives from the record labels.
Gary, I'm gonna
I'm
stop you
sorry.
right. I'm gonna stop
Uh,
you right there. That is why people love getting in media. What you just said, that the whole attraction of why people get into media,
yes.
television, radio, any of those type of quote unquote glamour fields. And it's glamour because, like you said, we can roll off. Oh, what did you do at work today? Oh, I met Michael Jackson. Oh, I met Janet Jackson. Someone working in a regular government
Uh,
job cannot say that, right? So
Yeah, well, now it's changed though, and we can't say that anymore either because everybody is doing. I mean,
yeah,
you're right, but I mean now, you know, everybody's doing Zoom or they're not coming into the stage; they're doing it over over the audio or call-ins and
but
things of
look,
that nature.
Shay has a podcast. It's just over Zoom, and so he gets to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
to, you
yeah,
know, all kind of people. So it's changed, but what I'm saying to people is that media has always been that glamour field, and when you're starting out, you don't make a lot of money because there's a lot of people that will just work
right.
free.
Yeah,
They will
no,
they will just get their foot in the door.
exactly. Yeah,
Getting your foot in the door, then you have to leverage, like, how am I going to work this? Like you said, you're getting phone calls, and Claude
yep,
Bay
yep,
is calling
yep.
and that kind of thing. So you have to be able to stick with it enough to uh outweigh like the
To get your footing.
yeah, get the cost
Mhm.
because it's not getting
Yeah,
paid enough. So if you went to college, the other people that maybe they graduate from college and they go work for an accounting firm, they're getting a real salary. Those that are going into radio, TV, or print, they're not making as much money. So you have
yeah.
to love it. And so you've been in it for over 3 decades, 4 decades.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been in this business for over 3 decades, and like I said, it's about sacrificing. I mean, for me, back then, when you went away to college and got a degree in radio and television, you normally had to start at a local station somewhere in a small town, Peoria, or wherever it may be. So for me to have got an internship at the number one station in the number three market in the country, I was willing to do whatever I needed to
That's
be
cool.
able to stay there. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like you said, I wasn't getting paid much at all.
Mhm.
But you never know whose ear you might catch. And I'll tell you a funny story about that is that because I was the receptionist, there was a gentleman who called in. He was from Nassau, Bahamas, and he was in Chicago for a reception for some type of convention. And he called and said, "My name is so and so, so and so. I'm calling to find out, can you direct me to someone who can help me produce my radio commercial?" And the reason was being because back then in the Bahamas, your radio ads that played or aired could not have a Bahamian accent, which floored me, right? So I looked to the right, looked to the left, and said, "Hey, I can produce your radio commercials for you." And you know what? And but I did have a background in copywriting, so in creative writing, so I knew what I was doing. But I went ahead and befriended him, met with him, ended up having that making over 20, 30 commercials for him over a 2 or 3 year period. Him flying me there, I was like his advertising agency.
There you
And yeah, yeah. So I leveraged that opportunity to be able to do something on a much larger scale, and then that propelled me into the sales part of it because the commercials I was writing and creating, and I was very good at it for the salespeople. They were making all the money, and they were just saying, "Hey, here's a coupon to Starbucks. Thanks a lot." So I said, "Wait a minute, something's wrong with this." So I stepped away and got into the sales at a smaller station, and then ended up coming back to the bigger station, V103, which it is now, and going into sales. And from that point, I did well and excelled to the point where I got hired I went into management in Detroit it was Clear Channel back then. Now it's iHeart as a local sales manager. And from that point, moved to about seven or different markets every 2 or 3 years, moving up the corporate ladder to the point where I got to become a general manager in St. Louis for Radio One, which is now it's Urban One, which is the black owned company out of Maryland
go.
with Miss Kathy Hughes. So thank her for giving me that opportunity. And then from that point, I went back.
I
I'm
just want
sorry.
to put that on record. I love Kathy Hughes. She is my shiro.
Yeah,
My shiro for
mine
real.
too.
Yeah,
Mine
yeah.
too. Mine too.
About sacrifices. I mean, at a certain point in time, she was actually living, she was homeless and living in her radio.
I know the story well. And
Yeah.
another thing that you probably know that I want to share is that she got turned down for a loan to buy her first radio station 19 times. Okay. And on the
Mhm.
20th day, on the 20th day, God came out and said, "Here you go." So you talk about perseverance and living in your car. And she actually lived in her car and lived at the radio station, the first one that she bought, because she had mortgaged everything. So, and now it's a $500 million company.
Publicly
So
traded, publicly traded. So
yes.
what I wanna just kinda say, we're gonna kinda, like, be your guide, Lindsay and I, through and we'll ask you questions like you're in the middle, you're in the hot seat. So, basically, you know marketing, you've been at the top, started from the bottom, now you're here, right? And so you left really broadcast, advertising, sales, that background, and really, probably amassed a lot of connections. And so what I did notice with the magazine, it has a lot of ads in there, so that's a good thing. So now
Hmm.
we're at the phase now with blackentrepreneur.magazine.com, where it's brand new and you are taking the helm.
Hmm.
And so what we want to do is really just help you in terms of really how do you want to shape it in terms of what the position in the market is going to be, and then how we can help you in terms of PR support and also in terms of marketing support. And really, I want to talk to the elephant in the room here, Black Entrepreneur Magazine. If you say it real fast, sometimes you might say Black Enterprise Magazine, right? So
Hmm.
where's the name Black Entrepreneur versus, you know,
Hmm.
enterprise, and the difference between the two, so that an average ad agency who's listening may get confused. Like, I thought this was the same thing. So give us
Hmm.
a backstory about that. If you're the publisher, you've only been there for a while, but when did the magazine start? And then what the naming of it is and about, and why it's going to be different than what we've had over the last 40 years, because it's pretty much
Sure.
in our
The
community.
magazine actually launched and was created and started in 2002. I've taken over, like you said, about a week ago, basically to expand the advertising, the promotional opportunities, marketing. The special piece about the magazine is that it's a global digital publication. It's
Mm,
available and has readership in over 37 countries around the world. Okay.
mm, okay.
So that is the unique niche, is that the entrepreneurs that when business owners that we are reaching and targeting are not just here in Chicago, not just here in the United States, but from around the world. We
Mhm,
actually have some big ventures that are launching in Kenya as we speak. So outside of the US, it's a huge platform. So that's what makes it very unique is that if you are an entrepreneur or business owner trying to make connections in a different country or with business people, like-minded business people in a different country, this is the publication that you should be reading. This is the publication that you should be checking out. This is the platform that may allow you to make those kind of connections.
mm,
So very unique in that aspect. Now you say Black enterprise versus Black entrepreneur, and yeah, they may sound alike, but they are two totally different focuses and entities. In that we focus on, like I said, entrepreneurs and business people of color, whereas they focus on more of the entertainment lifestyle sort of genre. So, we're excited for the focus that we have moving forward, and my goals are basically, like you said, to bring more brand awareness, as well as leverage that awareness to develop more advertising
mm,
for the magazine. And that would be in the shape of events, of sponsorship opportunities, of networking type affairs, um, and just taking it. I mean, the magazine already, like you said, has some very quality, high end advertisers.
okay.
So my goal is to take it to another level on that aspect, but also in the features that we offer as well.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
when you used to be at Urban One, so they actually have, like, a large, footprint in that whole digital space as well as terrestrial radio and also new
Yeah,
t
as well as
television.
iHeart, iHeart
Yes.
as well. Yep.
Yeah, all of that, all of that.
Hmm.
So the main thing that you said that it is global. It's in 37 countries. It has a niche that it's not, and it's been around since 2002. So I
Hmm.
really didn't hear about it until you got
That's
there,
why I'm
right?
here. That's right.
Okay. And so we love Black media. We talk about Black media all the time. That it's very,
Good.
very important. Lindsay, before I ask the next question about stories, the type of stories that you have and how people can get involved in that, Lindsay, what questions do you have um, for Gary as well?
Uh, so I think well, let me just ask you what are you trying to accomplish? I think I understood you but let me just what would you like help with?
Uh, the three things I think I listed and sent over to Dr. Perry were brand awareness,
Mhm.
increase advertising and marketing opportunities, and just development of the magazine to become a more visible entity in the business space.
Mhm. Mhm. That's one of the things when you said about event marketing. And so you said you
hmm
have 37 countries. Have you done
hmm
events in or are you planning on doing events in any of those countries?
Yes, we are currently doing events in those countries. They are when we launch a publication in a certain city, we do an event to support it. So we launch, then several months later, once we build like a database of local businesses or local entrepreneurs, then we host an event for to launch that magazine officially, and then we have all of those folks in the database from that particular market come to the event.
Okay.
So
That's
yeah,
that
Mhm.
is the formula.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
the question I have Jackie Showers and Janine, they are part of our Ready Set Go Speak community.
hmm
Keyword focusing on speaking. So at these events, do you ever have speakers at these events?
Yes, we plan on having a keynote type of speaker, someone who would pretty much, be in line with what, the business of the magazine is. So
Mhm.
definitely an entrepreneur or business owner,
Mhm.
um, probably someone from the local market that we're actually hosting the event at.
Okay.
Yep. But I mean,
That
if it's someone on a national level that makes sense, we definitely would take a look at that as well.
okay. Yeah.
hmm
What I
That
see is
is
you're using LinkedIn as your primary marketing platform. Is that correct?
Uh, well, we use LinkedIn. We use pretty much all the platforms. For me, it's been LinkedIn specifically. But I mean, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on WhatsApp, so various platforms.
Which ones? What's the top one or two that's delivering the best results?
WhatsApp,
really? Oh, okay,
yeah,
because of 37 countries. Right. I
right.
can see that.
Yep, yep. WhatsApp, and then a close second, Instagram.
Okay. And I see the Instagram. I saw that the other day where the Instagram uh it's really like the showing the magazine, showcasing the magazine via video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
That,
For the
that,
readers, yeah,
right.
to build circulation.
The publisher, where is he from? Where's the not the publisher, I'm the owner. Where's the owner from?
Anthony is from Jamaica, but he's
Okay.
based out of LA.
Okay. All right. So he's out of
Yep.
LA. So that's one of the things. I noticed it was a different type of, I won't say style, but it he's from Jamaica, and for whatever reason, I
hmm
just knew that it had a different kind of a vibe, a global vibe. It wasn't
Right.
the
Yes. So
different.
that you'll see the content, a lot of the advertising, a lot of promotion is for the Caribbean,
Yeah.
Jamaica, and Africa as well.
Yes. Yes. And
hmm
that is different. That's what makes it different than that.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's been around since 2002. Have
hmm
you so the formula for magazine, because I publish speakers magazine, it's a niche magazine for speakers. And
hmm
the formula for magazines today is not only just having the events, but also doing more like a show. So look
hmm
at the model of, say, Black Enterprise. They have a television station, blah, blah, this and that. So do you see that as part of the next evolution? And would that be something you would be doing, or you would be hiring a personality to do it? How do you see that as, because you're using YouTube, and Lindsay, I don't know if you looked at his YouTube channel or yet or not.
I don't have. I'm trying to find the Instagram right now. There's a number of similar ones, and none of them are the correct.
It
What's the
should
Mhm.
be. It's at BLK
Oh,
capital Entrepreneur Magazine at
okay.
BLK Entrepreneur Magazine.
Okay. Not spelled out black, but be okay. And then
Exactly.
we'll do that just because of the letters that it that
Yeah, yeah, and that's
they
another thing we need to become more consistent with, our branding as well. So that's something that we're going to work on as well. But getting back to your point, yeah, we're definitely looking at and planning on doing a podcast, both virtual and audio, as well as a possible local television show as well.
Mm,
We haven't decided on what that looks like as far as the host or hosting or who that may be, but you're absolutely right. We want to become a multi platform operation, to be able to get the most eyes and ears on the product as possible.
yeah, that is probably
Hmm.
the really biggest opportunity that we see, that
Yes,
becoming
ma'am.
more multimedia.
Yep, I agree.
Events for experiential, but also too multimedia. Now, when you have the events, it sounds like it's like a launch events. And have you ever, discussed more of the events to being more driven with,
Specialized.
yeah, specialized, or
Yeah.
even like just teaching entrepreneurial type of things. So say for instance, Jackie Showers can come in and maybe talk about, how to get certified, or Janine can come in like how entrepreneurs can write a book, or Linda
Hmm.
can maybe come in and do spoken word. I mean, the more people that you would get involved in the production of that. I'll give you an
Hmm.
example. And we talked about Hiram the other day. Hiram Jackson from the Real Times Media owns a lot of the black newspapers.
Hmm.
They don't make the most money from the newspaper itself.
Hmm.
They make it from their events.
No, I'm familiar with their model. I used to work for the newspaper here in Chicago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know that they're women of excellence, they're men of excellence, the different events they
Oh,
do very
40
well
and
with.
40 and this and that,
Yeah.
30
Oh
under
yeah.
30, and yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. No, you're
It's
absolutely right. And that's where we want to go with that, with our model. As I said, earlier, we're trying to grow and establish a database to be able to. What happens normally, as you know, um, once you identify certain number of people to celebrate, then they bring people to come to the celebrate. So it's just building on top of building as far as how you drive revenue. But for me right now, our primary revenue driver is sponsorship and advertising.
mm,
Um, so the events would be added value at this time. Yes,
okay.
we may make revenue off of those events at the door and with some sort of sponsorship, but until we actually have a proven track record of what we bring to the table, and I do agree with you. At some point, we will be doing specialized educational type events. I don't know if you're familiar with the group First Fridays.
Hmm. Hmm. I
Okay,
remember
well,
Fridays. Yeah.
yeah, they're no longer. Her name is Danielle Carr. She's no longer doing it here, but she started in Chicago many years ago. But a friend of mine in Toronto, when I was there, he bought the rights to it for Toronto, and they're still going strong there. But that's what he does there. Warren Salmon is his name. Where they do education every Friday, first Friday of the month. They do educational type, conferences or get-togethers or networking events. So
Hmm.
and I'll send you some information on that too. He might be someone you would want to speak to for an upcoming show.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it. Yeah, he's been doing it for like I think this is their 30-year anniversary. So he's been doing it for a while.
Lot of speakers need stages,
Yes.
and they if they know how to leverage the stage, it could be very lucrative. A lot of speakers will just say, hey, I'll speak at the Chamber of Commerce, or I'll speak. They need a stage, but they need to know how to leverage the stage.
Hmm.
And one of the things that you said, that if you are doing the events and it's just an added value to your sponsorships, name some of the advertisers that you do currently have. There's some large ones, and I want people to know that it's not like, oh, we just got a few. You got some very large ones. Name some of the
Yeah.
top of the
Yeah,
list.
most of the ones we have are either national or international. For example, Tesla, they're really big with us. Apple is really big with us. Live Nation, if you notice, there's a lot of
I
advertising
did.
for concerts and
I did
entertainment.
see that.
So we've
Yeah.
got a big spread with Beyonce's new album that came out, Chris Brown. So Live Nation advertises a lot of their events from all over the world that are taking place in the magazine. Just to name a few. I mean, I could
I
go
think that
on with a couple others. Hmm.
you said that primarily it's not going to be entertainment or lifestyle, but because of the owner being in LA, I think that's probably going to just lend itself to having those type of things in there because that's what's in LA. So
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
agree. But I mean, the focus of it, if you notice, the articles and the features of different individuals are more of the business focus.
yeah,
But then the advertising, yeah, that may sway into, lifestyle or entertainment. Yeah.
the
But as you saw, the main issue has John, from BET, Johnson on the cover, not John Johnson, but Mr. BET on the cover. And then this upcoming one, we have Barack Obama on the cover. So it's they put bigger name, bigger faces on the cover and have a small interview with them. But then there are local spotlights on different entrepreneurs and business owners in the particular different markets around smaller markets around the country.
good, good.
Hmm.
The yeah. So Lindsay, I had another question that I want to ask them, but you can go on and ask.
What are you guys doing on YouTube? What's that handle?
There
So I
is
can see.
and that's out of LA. There is a YouTube show that they're already doing. And then YouTubing a lot of different events that this magazine is involved with, being on location and on site there.
You know the channel name by chance?
I don't have it. No, I don't know it offhand, but I can forward that to you.
Are you guys doing email marketing?
We are, but that's not something that's really, well, it's mostly WhatsApp, if you want to call that email. No, we're primarily doing virtual, technical, not a lot of email marketing that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
Basically, like I said, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, uh, just hitting databases that are already established.
because if you grow your email list, that is really
Yeah,
huge.
because WhatsApp, there's one communication platform that everybody uses. Email.
Hmm. Yep.
Everybody uses email.
Hmm.
So if you want the biggest marketing base, the biggest platform for communicating, that's not any of the social media platforms, is email. You for most of these platforms, even maybe they don't do it anymore because you can use your phone number, but historically you had to have an email address just to sign up for a social media platform. So
Hmm.
I would, if you're looking for growth, I would encourage you to consider email marketing, incorporating that as well, because a lot of people a lot of people use WhatsApp, but more people don't and don't
No,
even know
I
what
agree.
it's.
I
So,
agree.
but
Yeah.
everybody knows what email is and how it works.
Yep. I agree. Good
So
points.
I do see Black Entrepreneur Magazine. I think the handle is that it's Black Entrepreneur Magazine dot 520. So it's at Black Entrepreneur Magazine dot 520. And this one here has a logo and the yeah, I can see where your IG, it says Black Entrepreneur Magazine, but it should be BLK. But five, it has two videos on here, but there's probably more, and these were a couple of years ago. And
Hmm.
but it is set up like this is an official one. It has a hashtag BE Magazine Black Entrepreneur hashtag. But we've got to do something. I'll subscribe. Guess
Hmm.
what number of subscriber I am of that
Thank
channel?
you. All righty.
Guess
Appreciate that.
guess what number I am?
Oh, really? You put me under the pressure like that? I give up 22. Two. Okay. Okay.
So this
It's,
is this is the come up. So
it's,
this is gonna be the come up. If
All
nothing,
right.
we're gonna, because you said there's a show, but there's probably other channels. But if I just put in YouTube Black Entrepreneur Magazine, it does come up, and it's with the
Mm.
logo branded and that kind of thing, and it has 10 things you should know about MLK, and this was a couple of years ago, and then
Okay.
44.
So it needs to be updated.
And then it looks like it's a really good video. I mean, this one is 44 African Americans who shook up the world, and that's about a 5 minute
Hmm.
video. And that had quite a few views, it's over 100 views on that. And this over 100 views, and I'm the second subscriber. So, people were watching it, but just want to be more consistent so that they are subscribing. And so just launching the show, what you said, the local TV show or the podcast, the video podcast is really important. And then also too, if you look at something like Forbes Black, Forbes obviously, they sell their license their name, right? They license their name just about on anybody or anything that will buy
Mhm.
it. It's like I could buy that Forbes name, and they have Forbes Africa. People license that Forbes uh, masthead and all of that, their own publishing company, but Forbes is licensed the name to them. So Forbes Black BLK is really that where people think that I'm okay. How do I say? It? People think it's Forbes. It is Forbes, but it's the license Forbes. It's its own arm of that. It has its own advisory board of African Americans that are part of that. The way it launched out is that they asked people to apply to be a part of
Mhm.
the Black community. Then they accepted them. Then they put them in Slack. I was like, "Oh my god, these Slack things." It was a whole it was too much. It was way too much. Then once they were in Slack, they got all of their emails, right? This
Mhm.
thing. And then they were blasting with the email like every week. And then eventually with the events of all of that. But they did make sure that they built that community first.
Yep.
And that community is part of what what they even the Slack community is just like, oh, I'm part of this Forbes Black thing. And it's just a Slack channel with a lot of Black
Mhm.
people that
Mhm.
are interested in business.
Yep.
So it's sort of similar. And they did a Forbes, I want to say they did a Forbes Black event over in Africa. I'm not sure. I think it was Ghana. I'm not really sure. But they honored some top African American um,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs. Um, since 2002, I'm just trying to think what the focus has been if we see that the business model of that is where the growth is, what has been the challenge, I guess you would say, of really getting there, getting on the YouTube and doing the events and building the community and building the database, the email database.
No, I agree. I don't think the magazine has been a primary focus since 2002. They are into a lot of other things.
Ah,
So that's one of the reasons why they brought me on to help establish and refocus the product to be able to get it back on the right track to make things happen.
so if the magazine wasn't the focus, meaning that they had other media properties that they were
Well,
working
no,
on.
it hasn't been the focus. So in 2002, when it launched, I'm assuming it was. I wasn't around at that time, so I can't tell you specifically, but I'm assuming that was the focus when they launched it. But over the past several years, it has not been the focus, or it has not been. I mean, the advertising's there, everything looks good, but as far as like you said, as for the peripheral things to be included, it's just not happening right now. So that's why I'm here.
Ah, okay. I got it. I got it. Yeah, the peripheral things were getting advertised, and the advertisers are huge. I mean, you got Tesla, Apple. I mean, that's anybody who got those two. I mean, it's pretty much like a staple. Those are the bookends, and anything else in between is kind of gravy, right? So
Exactly.
those are the main things. Just nailing those down.
Right, right.
The wash, rinse, and repeat of how people can be in the magazine. Is that a line of revenue? So not just in this advertiser or a sponsor, but do you have sponsor content or either programmatic advertising at all, or is
Yeah,
it
what we normally do is we have a package of on our rate card, and with our invitation letter, and I think I sent that to you as well. Basically, inviting someone to be featured or spotlighted in the advertising, and then with a suggestion that you want to couple that with an ad, on whatever your product, service, or what you stand for, to be either adjacent to that or somewhere on that page, depending on the size of the ad that is purchased. So if it's a full page, one page would have you be featuring you, and then the second page or the page opposite that would be whatever your ad may be. So leveraging it like that to start, and then, like you said, the other pages of advertising are just straight advertising. But as it relates to the entrepreneurs in the audience, specifically the readers and those that want to be in the magazine. We position it whereby you can, be in the magazine with just your bio and information, or you can be in the magazine with that and add and some sort of advertising or promotional piece to that.
Mhm. So is it an added value that they get the
No, no, you
okay,
would pay for it. You pay for the ad. Yes,
you pay for the ad, and then as an
right.
added value, you get the article.
No, you get the article. You can. It's not the article. It's a bio. So you get your bio. All
Okay,
right. So it's basic information about you, your business, what you do. Now, if you have something you want to, you can add an ad or attach an ad to it. For instance, some like I'm talking with Mary Green now, who does the Black Women's Expo. So the feature will spotlight her, and then on the opposite page would be an ad for the expo coming up August 7th. Her ad that she's actually airing or broadcasting or having printed in, publications and billboards and things around the city.
um, how is that? Is that something new that you're just starting, or what is that? How's that working? That's what I want to say. How's that
It's
working?
something new. I'm just starting.
Okay, all right. So
Mm-hmm.
let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
Say this just from Speakers Magazine. So when we
Mm-hmm.
started, we were like gung ho on the ads, and then we realized that that was something that people were less likely to purchase and have. They were more likely to wanting to do the feature.
Mm-hmm.
So the feature was the main thing that really is what people wanted. So that's what we sold. And
Mm-hmm.
then the ad was like the
Added
bonus.
value.
Yes, exactly.
No, I get
Exactly.
that, and that's why I kind of tried to stipulate that this is more of a basic bio, not a feature. So it's not like we're doing an interview and a feature on this person. It's more so just their bio and basic information, whereby if they wanted to communicate more about themselves or what they were doing, they would probably have to buy an ad or
Okay.
be, but like you say, it's very fine line, but I'm just starting it like this first, just to kind of get people used to what's expected, and
Mhm.
upselling to the ad part. I don't think will be hard for me
Okay.
to do
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah,
what you do. That's what you've done. So
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I had a question with this being an online magazine. I'm looking at the current. I think it's the current issue. But none of the links in here are clickable, so I can't click any of this stuff and be taken to like looking at a person's uh, bio or article, and it has their handles at the end, Instagram, their website, their face. None of these links are clickable anywhere in the
So
magazine.
you're on an actual magazine publication, or are you on a demo that was sent out,
Um,
or
so I got here on the homepage of Black Entrepreneur Magazine,
okay,
and then
okay,
that issue that was there, I clicked that, and
okay,
that's what I'm looking at, and I'm just flipping through it, and yeah, none of the links in here are actually clickable links.
okay. You mean clickable as far as the advertiser links?
Like anything that's .com,
Uh
none
huh.
of them. I cannot click on any of these and be taken to the page.
Okay.
They're just there like regular words instead of a clickable link. Is that how this normally works?
Again, I appreciate your input and you sharing with me what you're finding now. And I would appreciate if you verbalize that in writing or just share with me what you're seeing. Right now, I'm not here to critique the magazine or tell you why something or is not working, because I'm new as well. So I may not be able to answer all of your questions, but if you like to go through it like you are now with a fine tooth comb and just kind of just share with me in writing what issues you see, and then I can get those addressed and be able to get back to you with more specific information.
So one of the things too, just about SEO, clickable links are important. So even with
Oh,
speakers,
I'm sure. Yeah, they are.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So even with like Speakers Magazine, we go to the page, and if it's Janine that was in the May issue or whatever, you can go and you can click to her website. Let's just say their
hmm
website. And that just gives a good backlink so that now it can be more discoverable.
No, I'm,
I
I'm
was
I'm in agreement with you. I think these are very important. That's why I'm glad that you're sharing these things that you're finding out, because I have had the chance to go through this with a fine tooth comb as of yet. So again, I've been in for a week, a little bit more, and
Is
just
this the email?
basically,
Is this
pardon
the
me.
email here? Is this the email here? Is that the correct
Yeah,
email?
yeah, but it's not my email. That's the email for the magazine. So if you want to submit something, that is the email, but it's not my direct email to
Okay.
contact me. Yeah.
But they can get to you through there. That
Oh
was the
yeah,
okay, so that's the one that's
definitely.
YouTube channel. And it looks
That
like
is it.
you also have a Facebook group as well. What's going on in the Facebook group? It looks like that's a community. I haven't gone there yet, but there's a Facebook group for Black
Yeah,
entrepreneurs.
I'm not familiar with the Facebook group at all. The things that I'm familiar with are what I sent you with the Instagram and with the general HTTP. So again, I'm analyzing and starting to go through all of these things to find out more about it. So I will definitely let you know.
Yeah, because the IG is BLK. I'm gonna put that up there so that people can see that one. It
Hmm.
is that it's IG is
Yep,
BLK Entrepreneur
that
Magazine, and
that's
obviously
it. Thank you so much, Pam. Yeah,
that that you don't have the B. If you're looking for BLACK, you won't be able to find it. That's one of the
correct.
main things too, as well.
Hmm.
So let me just tell you a little bit about what maybe there's some kind of synergy that we could do with Ready Set Go Speak. So Janine and Linda Fagans, they are speakers. Ready Set Go Speak is that we're getting them ready. We're getting them ready in the phase of like how to get their messaging right, how to really figure out their niche, define their brand, design their materials, and that's like the set phase. The set phase is like Janine just said, a photo shoot. Linda has had the set phase of getting the website done. If you want to even get the book done, I mean, we pull all the resources together in the community. So the ready, set, and then the go phase is really when they would reach out to say you, and we'll reach out to Black Entrepreneur Magazine, and they'll say, "Oh, okay, I want to, I'm ready now. I really know what it is that I want to do. I want to either submit and write for Black Entrepreneur Magazine, or maybe I want to be featured, or maybe I want to run an ad, or maybe I have an event because you're
Hmm.
monthly. So
Hmm.
it's monthly, and so they can now reach out to you. So that's like in the ready, set, go. So they're going and they're learning how to pitch. We teach them how to pitch in Ready Set Go Speak. I put your information in there so they can send you their one sheet or their media kit, or even just an inquiry of like if you're taking columnists or people that, I mean, even Janine is an editor as well. It's like if you're hiring for editors, those kind of things. Those are the things of the Ready Set Go Speak community. It's a lot of different people in the community. There's people that are ones that obviously they do want to speak. In order to speak, a lot of them have books. A lot, if they have books, then they want to sell the book. So really part of that is really it's a whole PR branding marketing community. And then
Hmm.
set go speak is where they're actually getting on stages. They are actually listing themselves as doing their own events. And I always suggest that people do their own events. They should do their own signature events. That is just like part of it. It's like, don't wait for a stage, create your own stage.
Right.
And then also too, speaking where they can possibly speak if you're launching in a different city, they can actually speak there. I know for a fact that there's an organization of women that has women that go all the way to Dubai to speak on a stage, and they pay thousands of dollars to speak on the stage, and they pay to go there, and they have to pay for the hotel, and it's just to speak on the stage. So a lot of times I'm just seeing like a big hole what Black Entrepreneur Magazine has of just really providing that platform for speakers to speak on a stage, because now if they're ready, set, go speak, they're ready. They know what they have to say, and they just want the opportunity to have the marketing assets, the exposure, the opportunity to say that they spoke in Kenya or whatever, because now that they don't have to go to Kenya and say, hey, well, who do I speak to? You've already provided that. So that's just kind of like the,
Hmm.
so the Ready Set Go Speak is really that whole community where people are in it for a year. They're not in it for a few months, they're in it for 12 months, and they learn from courses, they learn from what we're doing right now, the hot seats on Friday. They, sometimes you can hear from what we're doing with you, they may not be their situation, but they can pick up something and say, ah, yeah, no, I need to do more
Sure.
email marketing, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like that's like important. Or they didn't even know maybe that WhatsApp was an opportunity for them to really market on that because they could be in everywhere else, but maybe they're not on WhatsApp. So it may give them some
Right.
idea. And then the other part is making sure that when we have different awards and things like that, I'm providing that weekly. I'm providing media contacts to them weekly, and then also speaking stages for them to apply for weekly. That's really
Hmm.
what Go Ready Set Go Speak is about. The opportunity for our speakers to be a part of that, either they are writers or speakers, could be a collaboration. And when they are in the magazine, one of the things that we do is we promote the fact that our members are, featured in Black Entrepreneur Magazine, or they're featured as a writer, or they're featured in there as well. So that could be like a good synergy between the two. And I always tell them, for anything that you do, um, at least once a month, figure out a press release. I mean, we should have some kind of news once a month, but some kind of press release, even if you don't get like media calls, it still is a staple in uh, the SEO world that there's some news going on. So it could say, Linda Fagan's, recently featured in Black Entrepreneur Magazine, and then it has a link to the magazine.
No, I think that's wonderful, and I think that based on what you're saying and to in agreement with what you're saying, I think you would be a perfect candidate for us to do a spotlight about, and then you would be able to also get an ad to promote Ready Set Go.
Ready, set,
So
go.
yeah, I think that would be something great. And then from that point on, we can start to do more together with the speaker series.
That would be
Because as you
good.
said, yeah, we'll need speakers for sure, as long as it makes sense for what we're doing. Um, Most of the events that are done, and I think I mentioned this too, is that they're mostly networking things to allow people. They're not the educational pieces that we touched on, but that is something that we definitely want to look at, but they're more people just connecting with other like-minded people in a setting that is conducive to that. So, so to have a speaker and sit down with a speaker and listen to them speak, that is something that we would look at, outside of the traditional networking or introductory type things that we are doing. But I could see that definitely be taking place in the
Mhm.
near future with the growth of the magazine.
Yeah, yeah. Anything that has to be sold, we got to speak.
Yeah.
So that's really, I consider, even though I'm a publicist, speaking is a big part of a publicity campaign.
Yes,
And
it
so
is. Yeah.
I consider speaking as that part of that, as an extension of them, but they have to be ready for it. They can't
Yep.
just, you know, I I did a podcast with someone the other day, and I told him I couldn't put the podcast out because it
It was
wasn't
terrible.
it good. And they said too many ums and ahs and
Yes.
I mean, we
Yes.
all do it natural. It's a
We
natural part.
do. Yes.
But when it's consistent, like every syllable, it's
Yes.
irritating. So I said, we've got to just work on that part. And but they thought they were ready. They thought they were ready to go until I sent them the video back, and I said, we got to change
And
this." He
that's the important thing when you can actually hear and see yourself, in action, which a lot of people don't do. I mean,
Yeah,
that's why I think it's important to practice in the mirror sometime when you got a big presentation coming up, or a podcast or something video wise that you have to prepare for. Practice, So, and I'm never too big or too, into myself where I don't think I can, be better. So
no, no, no. Willie Jolly, who is a Hall of Fame speaker, said he practices every single day, every
good for
single.
him.
And
Okay.
he's a Hall of Fame speaker, and this
Oh,
is
for
like
sure.
one of the things. And the other thing too is there is software that can take the ums and the ahs out and that kind of thing. But if you're live streaming, it's not go that ain't gonna happen. Okay, so we practice software. So this is kind of a different thing. So yeah, yeah. But Lindsay always acknowledges and encourages, and what was it you read, Lindsay? It was in the New York Times, about YouTube being the largest
Oh,
platform.
yeah. Washington Post. It's
Washington Post.
the number one. streaming service in U.S. households on the big screen TV. So
I
people are
believe
watching
that.
YouTube on the TV more than they're watching even Netflix.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And I'll tell you this, and you made a specific point on TV. I would say that TikTok now has taken over as the number one platform overall for communication like that. You
No,
don't think so?
that's not true. Um,
Okay.
YouTube is the number one overall social media platform. More people use YouTube than anything else, and then
Okay.
TikTok is not even number two. Who did the study on that? It was a Pew Research Center. I saw this was a couple of months ago. But yeah, YouTube gets I'm sorry, TikTok gets a lot of press, a
Hmm.
lot of attention, a lot of it negative because the Chinese ownership and all of this and that.
Oh yeah,
So
I know about that.
there you hear about it a lot, but that's not necessarily reflective. And in this instance, it is absolutely not reflective of their market share. YouTube is the big boy on the block. It's been around for 20 years. This year is the 20th year for YouTube.
Hmm.
Uh, everybody, everybody uses YouTube and has been for a very long time. So YouTube is the number one, man. This is why I promote it so much. It's the easiest platform for adults to communicate on because you don't have to be a hyper animated or abbreviated version of yourself trying to get everybody's attention in 15 seconds.
On
You
TikTok.
can you can talk for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour on YouTube.
Hmm.
There's an audience that is looking to consume that kind of content. So you can just be yourself. And
Hmm.
for those of us who grew up prior to all of this, all of this technology, just being able to have a conversation with somebody, if you develop that skill to communicate with the camera, then you can sit and talk for a half hour, 45 minutes or whatever, and your audience will watch those videos. Or you can sit down and have a conversation with somebody like what we're doing here. And no
Hmm.
matter how long that video turns out, it's okay. Whereas, on TikTok and Instagram, you got to be, 30 seconds or less, or people are just going to keep going.
Yeah,
And not
no,
only
I,
that,
I do think it has a lot to do with, the demographic that you're targeting as well. I think is you have to be engaging, you have to be captivating. I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure that certain demos, younger demos, are not, doing a lot of 45-minute, hour long watching because of what they're used to with TikTok and Instagram and things of that nature.
they
So
did watch
I
Shay
think,
Shay though. They probably
pardon
had.
me.
They did probably watch that Shay Shay video with
I think that was 4 hours long, wasn't it?
with Cat Williams. I was
I
like,
had to.
watching this. It was like 10 million
I
views or
think he
something.
got 50 million views, and he just had Ray J on there and did pretty well with that. So he's got a good formula going with that. But
On
again,
YouTube.
like you said, it's got to be captivating, and Cat Williams is definitely definitely captivating and engaging. So
And the fact that I could watch it, I don't know if everybody watches YouTube on their phone, or I know
right,
I watch YouTube on television. So if I'm going to
hmm,
watch an hour program, I don't want to watch it on this device for an hour.
agreed.
I want
Yeah,
to watch it on the big screen. So
yep.
that's the other thing. So if I want to watch a TikTok, a lot of TikToks, I'm not gonna watch it on. I can't watch it on my television. I mean, I guess I could if I had to pull it up on the internet. Not, it's just a whole nother thing.
Well,
It's not an
that's what's interesting. That's what I was saying, and that's what's interesting is because handhelds are the most viewed vehicle now for for the masses. So I'm surprised to hear that something you have to watch on TV, like YouTube, would be number one. But I guess because they do have the ability to go on and watch them on your handheld as well, would precipitate that. So good for YouTube.
yeah, yeah, that is it. And also too, it's owned by Google. So
Yeah,
Google will give it love.
yep, you're
You
right
want
about that.
if you want to be on the first page of Google, uh, they're gonna love their own products over
Yep, yep,
folks.
that's true.
Even though they probably should be impartial, right? They probably aren't.
Well, they should, but they're not. Yeah,
If I own
Mhm.
it, I'm
it's
gonna
called a
put
monopoly.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna put that
it's
up there.
impartial.
Well, like you said, that's what they're going through now. With one of the companies now that's like they're uh, fighting to get out of some sort of settlement where they have like monopoly on pretty much everything. What is that?
I mean, all of
Uh,
the big guys from Amazon to Google. I mean, it's just
yeah,
like
I think
they were the
Amazon
first.
from a retail space. Yeah,
Yeah, they were first in. It's 20 years old, like Lindsay said. It's 20 years old, so they've been there for a while, and it's like we own this spot,
yeah.
and
Apple,
and
Apple. Yeah, that's what I'm speaking of. Apple is involved
one,
with a lot of infringement
yes,
lawsuits.
they were first in. And so one of
Hmm.
the things too, we just want to make sure that people know that they can go to Ready Set Go Speak. They can join our community, be a part of our community, learn the things that they need to learn. I always say people don't know what they don't know
Hmm.
until they it's actually exposed to them. And so one of the things is it's like a mastermind and a mentorship, but it's also media training. So it's really a year long place where you can go and learn and grab and get the connections that you need. So it's a really good spot. The speakers that are ready that are in there, YB, a lot of them watch the replays because they're busy, they're booked
Yeah,
and busy, and
yeah.
they really do. Just seeing some of them do the come up is really exciting for me. That's
It
one of
is.
I
It is.
see them doing the thing, and
Yep.
and the tools and technology. You've got to have someone that's in your ear to say, well, did you know there's a new app that'll do this, or there needs to always be someone that you're discussing that continually because it's always changing. And so
You're
that's
absolutely
why I
right.
stay on the cutting edge of all of the stuff. Even Lindsay will tell me, says, the next big thing you need to do is eCam. And I'm like, I know, Lindsay, I'm gonna do I'm getting the StreamYard together right now, but I'm gonna get the eCam. I really am. I'm gonna get the eCam.
Hey, well, Lindsay, share some of that information with me too. Lindsay, like I said, put down what you see in writing and send it to me because I'm definitely gonna look into all those things you suggested. I'm glad that you did, because, like you say, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. So, I appreciate your input on all of that. And go
Yeah,
ahead.
and I did want to say too that also too we have quick media coverage when you need stories written about you, about the
Hmm.
Black entrepreneur. That's a place where you can go as well,
Okay,
and
great.
get stories written in Black. BLK,
Hmm.
uh,
Okay.
news.com. Then there's also like CEO Weekly. There's different publications. We have a string of publications that we work with. It's roughly about 35 to 40. ERU
Hmm.
Web. I don't know if you remember Lee Bailey from
Yeah.
Radio
Oh, sure.
Scope. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can
Lee Burley, Mr. Lee
Yes,
Burley.
exactly,
Yeah.
like Lee Bailey from Radio Scope. So we could get a lot of our clients are African American, so we can get them in there. So those are things too where every month, uh, Gary, when you have a new publication, you should have a story written about the new publication, who the cover is and that kind of thing, especially if
We
it's a
do. We do, and I'll forward that to you. Like I said, it goes out on WhatsApp and other platforms, so I'll forward that to you so you can actually see what that looks like.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so can I put you down for my July issue?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. July is coming up, so I'm
Yeah, I
working
just
on
need to
July.
get all your information, yeah, by the 20th of June. So we got time. But yeah, okay, because I'm getting my first 5 or 6 folks I'm gonna spotlight, and I'd like for you to be one of them. So that'll
Okay,
be great.
all right,
All
very good.
right.
And ERU
Wonderful.
Web would be a really a good one for you to be in, that one,
Okay.
and then Black News, and then probably if it's entrepreneurs, most entrepreneurs consider themselves CEOs, so CEO Weekly would be another one that you can share your
Okay.
information at as well.
Uh,
So that would take a look at
Yeah, if
that.
you want to provide me or shoot me a critique sheet, from all the things we discussed today, or have one of your, people do that, that would be great. And then I can kind of follow your direction and input on that. So I appreciate both you guys
Thank you,
being a
thank
part of
you.
this and
All right.
inviting me.
Very welcome.
So one of the things I'll give you this video, and then you can put it into script. You know what Descript is, right?
No.
Descript. Descript.com will basically translate this video for you.
Oh,
So
okay.
everything that we said is gonna be already translated for you, so you can have that as well. So I'll send you the
Oh,
link for
great. Okay.
Descript.com is great. I mean,
Yeah, sounds like it.
yeah, it just it transcribes for you. So it's kind of like Otter in a way. So yeah, so you do that as well. So I'll make sure that you get that as well. But thank you so much for joining us today on Get Out There, Get Known. That's really like the main thing. I really want people to get out there, get known. So thank you for joining us today.
Thanks to both
Take
of you.
care. Alrighty, bye
Have a
bye.
good weekend.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com, where you help you shine like a superstar.